Kakadosh Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. Wanted to bring down halacha in Siman Tzadik Tet. Siman Tzadik Tet, Maran says as follows: Shata yain keder revi'it, al yitpalel ad sheyasid yeno. Which means that if a person comes and he drinks a revi'it of wine, so then he cannot pray until the wine, the effect of the wine has already started to come away. Ve'im shatad yoter, now if you drank more than a revi'it, if he could speak in front of the king, and he already prayed, meaning we're not talking about that now he's asking, can I pray or not pray? He already prayed. So if let's say he drank more than a revit, and remember that a revit is 86 milliliters, 86 cc, and now he already prayed, so then tfilatot tfilah, so b'diavad this tfilah is going to be a tfilah, and if he cannot speak in front of a king, because basically he's mumbling, he can't, he's already meaning that the wine has already taken effect. So then if he prays, his tefillah is going to be a toeva. So he has to pray again when the wine has already come away from him. And even if the time of the tefillah already went, so then so then what he does is he has to do it later on as a shogeg, which means he would have to do a double tefillah the next tefillah, right? And the same the halacha says, "Zagav din kriyat shema kedin tefillah." Kriyat shema is like amidah, aval shar berachot yachol levarech, but other berachot you can make, which means kriyat shema also has the same power as the tefillah, as we already said here. Now here the Mishnah Berurah brings down in Sif Katan Aleph, yain v'nideh dehu adin shar mashkim v'shakirim. The same halacha would apply to any other type of mashkim which are meshakrim, just like it's brought down in the Taz in Zman Kuf Kavchet, to do with nesiyat kapayim, which means that there, right, when we're going to see it's the exact same halachot, there's no difference, right? So he says, it's not only just wine, it's going to be anything which is mishaker, anything which can intoxicate a person. And even according to the Magen Avraham over there, that he is mekel b'nesiyat kapayim, meaning that there's going to be a machloka between the Taz and the Magen Avraham. The Taz over there is going to be machmir by other liquids, and the Magen Avraham is lenient. He says, "Mistabra tefillah chamira v'asur kimo bayayin." He says, we're not going to say that by tefillah you're going to be more lenient, because the opposite, it's much more, the tefillah is much more chamir, and since it's much more chamur the tefillah, so therefore it's going to be prohibited, just like wine. However, though he says, according to the shitat of the Taz, which is going to be, right, which is brought down, we don't need other liquids, shiur revi'it. What does that mean? That means that even though the wine in itself, we just said wine needs a revi'it, what about I take something else which is intoxicating? And this intoxicating liquid is much more powerful than wine. It's not the 11 or 12 or 13 or whatever percent of wine, right, that alcohol. It's got 40% of alcohol, so now what? You're going to tell me also that you need a revi'it? So here he comes and he says, here, to do with other liquids, b'shar mashkim, you don't need a revi'it. But says the Mishnah Berurah, even though you don't need a revi'it, but you still need the same concept like the revi'it of l'shaker. What does that mean? Here it says that the Or Letzion brings down a shoteh afilu me'at arak. So for example, a person is going to drink a little bit of arak. He says, if you see that he becomes a little bit intoxicated through this, lo yitpalel, you shouldn't pray. The Kav HaChaim katav, and the Kav HaChaim writes, shekevan shebeshar mashkin lo ne'emar shiur mefurash. He says, the Kav HaChaim, since it's not written an explicit amount, yesh lizayim lishto mashkin mishanikal kol tefillah. You should be careful not to drink it whatsoever before tefillah. Which means that here you see that there's a big machlokot to do with other liquids. First of all, there's a machloket to do with other liquids. Bichlal, does it count or not? So we already said, according to tefillah, for sure it does. According to Birkat Kohanim, it's going to be a machloket. But now, even with that, okay, so how much do you need? For sure you don't need a revi'it. But the question is, how much? Do you need the amount that it would be for revi'it of wine? Or it's not really written an amount. So because of that, he just says that it's better to refrain, says of Kachaim, it's better to refrain from drinking any type of liquids from before tefillah or before anything which obviously you have the machloket, in order not to get into a problem, because we're not really sure what is this amount that all of a sudden a person might feel intoxicated, and therefore he just says to refrain from that whatsoever.